I own 6 cars, and out of all 6 of the cars, 5 of them are currently broken. Today we're going to be talking about the 4 sports cars that I have and what is plaguing them, and kind of just a little update because it's been over 2 weeks. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while, but I think I have a good reason, and well, here's the reason. All of my cars are broken. So I have the Corvette, the RX-7, and well, my very broken Miata standing outside. I would say these 3 plus the Bronco and the Lexus are kind of the main cars on the channel. And of course I have the BMW as well. We'll talk about the BMW. Nothing really seriously going on with the BMW, but the rest of the cars are being a serious pain in my rear end. Now, we made a few videos on the RX-7, and I know it's been a while since you guys have seen it. The Corvette is my newest purchase, and I'm pretty sure the car either has bad coils, bad wires, or bad spark plugs. Let me show you why. It's been a few days since I started the car, but last time I did start it, it was misfiring pretty badly. I got to check engine light a couple days before that. In the past with the car, I had thought I had heard a light misfire. And well, my suspicions were right, because as I continued to drive the car a little bit more, the car started misfiring pretty badly. Now, the car is not giving me an exact code for the misfire on what cylinder. So this car has a built-in code reader, and the other day I did record the codes it was reading, and it's reading a random misfire. Now, random misfire just means that it's reading a misfire, but it doesn't know exactly what cylinder because it's not misfiring enough. Now, it's been a little stressful because there's a million different possibilities as to what this could be, but since this car is so low miles, with only about 35,000 original miles, it's very likely that just because the car sat for so long, now that I'm starting to drive it, the car's spark plugs are fouling, or the wires, or whatever, because it is 21 years old. So most likely it's just something that is needing a minor service. Let's fire the car up, and well, I need to bring it out because we got to bring the Miata in. Been a few days since I started it too. It actually sounds alright, but the check engine light is still there. And there you go. Hearing it, it's barely misfiring right now, but I'll play a video where you can clearly hear that something's wrong. It should not be doing that. Kind of sounds like a tractor right now, which isn't a good thing. Now, as far as what's kind of the plan with the car, well, like I said, most likely it's a issue with the wire spark plugs or the ignition coils. I put almost 1,000 miles on the car now, and well, it's been pretty good up until the day I let it idle outside for about 15 minutes. One thing that it could be, another possible scenario, is the catalytic converter could be loose on the inside. And it's happened to many other people before, where it'll throw a misfire code because the air-fuel ratio is off because the cat is clogging the exhaust. And the third thing it could be is the idle sensor. I forget the exact name of it. That could need to be recoded. Nothing really too serious, but the only real way to kind of find out is to put a time into it, to put time and money into it, and just guess. Because I'm either going to pull the spark plugs, pull the wires, and see that they're crusty and dusty, and perhaps I'll notice one spark plug is worse than the others, and then I'll do all that work and then put them all back and replace one. Or I can spend $200, get new coils, new wires, and spark plugs, and just do a service anyways. I just haven't decided what course of action I want to take with the car yet. Rotary life. Let's move over to my RX-7 and talk about what's going on with this thing. So I was about 2 months ago now in the process of bleeding the brakes and changing the brake master cylinder out. Now, the brakes weren't really good from day one, which is something I wanted to address immediately before I started driving the car. When I started touching the brakes, that's kind of when things went downhill. When I bought the car, I drove it home. I parked it ever since. I cleaned it off because it was in the middle of winter. And the brakes were not good, so I was trying to fix the brakes. As I worked on the brakes, right, I noticed that, well, they stopped working completely. When I bled the brakes, thinking the brake bleed would fix all my problems, well, the car just completely stopped functioning in terms of the braking system. I went ahead and ordered a new master cylinder for the brakes. I got it, I tried installing it, I took the old one off. The old one is still sitting off, but there's 2 things that went wrong. Number 1, we couldn't get the brake master cylinder to sit onto this brake servo. It wouldn't seat properly, and it just confused me because they should be the same part. They look like they're the same part. So that's still a problem I haven't figured out. But the other thing is we spilled brake fluid on the car. As you guys know, this car was originally red, and if you don't, well, you know that now. And since the car was originally red, the engine bay was red, and it was painted very poorly, and well, any spot that the brake fluid touched is now spotting red, and there was quite a bit of it spilled down here. And not a big deal, it'll take the paint away if it sits for a little bit, but the engine bay was already starting to show red in multiple places. The problem was, if we left it, it would have rusted through the car a little bit. We couldn't get all the way down there. So we sprayed a little bit of water on it. Water isn't going to hurt any of the electrical systems in it, but it could throw fuses out. So right here, you have fusible links. So I believe this is what my problem is, and I'll show you guys the problem in a second. So the fusible link is a fuse basically, but there's supposed to be 3 fusible links, and this goes directly to the positive terminal from the battery. And let me show you what's going on with the car right now. Okay, hold on, we need to backtrack just a second because I just fixed the car in the middle of making this video. So the problem with the car was you would come and you would turn the key and there'd be no ignition, nothing, no electronics working whatsoever. And like I was saying, that's because of the fusible links, and there was a fusible link missing. They're supposed to look like this, but somewhere along this car's life, someone made a custom fusible link that I didn't recognize. And when we were working on the brakes, we noticed that there was this fuse sitting on the ground, which is this. And I didn't recognize this because this doesn't look like an OEM fusible link. Someone made this. It's supposed to look like the other ones, but be black. And I saw it sitting on my driver's seat because that's where I left it. I set the camera down and I go, wait a second, this is a fusible link for the main. Lo and behold, if I put this in the location for the main, I stick it in there, right, where it's supposed to go in the main. You guys hear that? The car is working. No way. That was, well, a pretty easy fix, caused me a decent amount of stress. But when we were investigating, and thanks to my Instagram comments, they actually told me my fusible links are probably bad, and I did research and we found out I was missing a fusible link because, well, like I just explained, it was a custom fusible link, and well, I have new ones on order already. I'm going to replace the makeshift one with a actual proper fusible link. So the car should be working. So right now, all this car needs to be back on the road is the brakes. The car runs, drives, and now electronically it works as well. This is the new one sitting right here. I can't get this one to sit on right, and I'll probably be playing around with it later today. Now the Miata, there's a lot going on with this car. I'm gonna pull the RX-7 out and let's pull the Miata in and talk about it. This is a lot harder than it looks. Gotta catch my breath for a second. The RX-7's brakes are just a tad locked up since the car hasn't moved in 2-3 months. Miata in the garage. This car, you guys kind of already know what's wrong with it. If you guys are followers of the channel, I made an update video with this car not too long ago. Basically, this car needs a trans job. And at the moment, what we're going to be doing to the car is putting a new clutch master and slave cylinder in the car. And what that will do is essentially get the car running and driving again. If I am correct, being the master mechanic that I am, the clutch master cylinder is bad, and that is essentially making the clutch engage too soon. The second thing is the throw-up bearing is bad. The throw-up bearing is in the transmission, and the throw-up bearings need to be done by dropping the trans. Then at the same time, you might as well do a clutch and a flywheel. And the clutch is starting to give out too. It's a little old. I mean, it's probably original, but I don't know. The problem is, I've been trying to order the stage 1 kit for, again, about 2 months now, and it's been out of stock. It's supposed to come into stock super soon, but hopefully doing a clutch hydraulic refresh, it will allow the car to be driving again, so I can drive it, put some miles on it, some light miles until I get the clutch kit. Then we can do a refurbishment of the parts in the clutch. Now that's all just me theorizing, because there could be a bigger issue. The bigger issue I already know of is the throw-up bearing going bad, and I know that's going bad because I heard the throw-up bearing rattling. It's like, okay, Miata just needs some maintenance and it's fine. RX-7, whatever, it doesn't work, it's fine, it's not even insured yet. The Corvette is supposed to be my daily at the moment, and when that stopped working, I was like, well, you know, kind of forget cars for a second. Let's just take a break, take a breather. And, well, I've been driving the Bronco, the Lexus, and the Bronco also has its own problems, which, well, we'll talk about when that time comes. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna ride my motorcycle when I don't have the Bronco or the Lexus. And that's kind of what I've been doing. I don't have a car right now. I know it's been a while since I made a video. It's been like 20 days since the last video, and it doesn't help that I haven't had time to work on the cars, because I'm not gonna just, you know, toy around here, do a little bit here, do a little bit here, because the things that I need to fix are, you know, 3 to 5 hour long, you know, things, and I just haven't had that much patience to sit down. But in the next video, we're going to be hopefully fixing the Miata, which is going to come out extremely soon. Just have a little bit of patience. I brought it on myself, I suppose. Gotta love and hate old cars at the same time. Well, I'm gonna go get my hands dirty, and as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. So all of this gets deleted by this stainless braided line here. All right, we're taking a break. But here's the moment of truth of whether or not the hydraulic refresh made the car run and drive again.